12 years. I have a 21-year-old, she's a senior in James Madison University, nursing student, and I'm very proud of her because she navigated through the pre-med program during COVID. She was a junior when they shut down. She did excellent. She always has. I mean, specifically moved to Old Bridge because of the amazing, school system, as far as the education goes. So I feel like I got my money's worth as far as she's concerned. But again, she was a junior when schools shut down. My son was a first grader. We're still set back from that time. And that is when I started kind of questioning everything. I didn't go to Board of Ed meetings all the time, participate in a lot of that, not in our hometown and not here. Then when they started, talking about school closures, I started participating in all of those meetings. The superintendent was just terrified about keeping the schools open, even though other districts were doing it with the same red zone and numbers. He just wanted to do what he wanted to do and what the teachers union told him to do. And so I became more involved where I almost didn't trust the things that he was doing or the decisions being made. And I've learned that there's so many things that have been going on over the years that have been right under our noses, without parents knowing, without taxpayers knowing, and just to piggyback, like when Jack was talking about the 57, 56, just so that you know what that policy is, it was a policy put in place that is supposed to protect the transgender community. So, and which I'm not a bigot, I have, I don't have any problems with anybody that's gay, anybody that's trans, anything of that sort. It's that it's a special protection so that if a child who identifies as Bob but was born Becky goes to school, that child can be called Bob on his paperwork, on his student portal, and then the parents would have no idea. The parents would still get the report card that says Becky. There would be no conversation, and that's a huge problem for a lot of us. These are kinds of ideals that are being passed down from the state, from the teachers union, who wants the Board of Ed to be nonpartisan, but glorifies the Democrats all over their social media. I mean, it's not a secret.
No, and they go to Democrat committee meetings.
They endorse people that are, Democrat leaning, or people I've noticed. I don't think they should be endorsing anybody since we're supposed to be managing their contracts. But they do, and from what I've been noticing, the people that they endorse are people that are yes people, that are going to do, whatever they say and not really consider what we're about, which is our children and the best interest of, children and also their parents. So, so that's where it began. We did thankfully abolish that policy because that was put in place and people fought so hard and made a big deal. Then 2 years ago in the health curriculum, the state suggested, and the teachers union wrote a health curriculum for as early as 2nd and 3rd grade using vulgar sexual language, such as anal sex, oral sex. Okay, 6th grade. I mean, I've read the curriculum. I have copies of it at home. 6th grade, we're introducing Planned Parenthood to come in and talk about abortion with your child. So this is where this is all starting to go now. And right now, there's a bill that's been that Senator Henry is trying to work with us. There's been petitions going around about it. Is the Freedom to Read Act, which is basically porn in the children's libraries. So there's this back and forth with this book banning. It was a controversial question that we were asked during our candidates night. Are we, pro censorship?
There's no book banning. You can buy a book on Amazon.
But what is crazy to me is that there's actually been conversations about banning Dr. Seuss books, which is like one of my favorite authors of all time. But we're going to introduce photographs of sexual positions, like the whole thing. So you're supposed to be 18 years old to even go buy these smut magazines or whatever, but you can now be 6 years old and waltz right into a school library if this comes into fruition, and that's totally fine. So enough is enough. I mean, I'm a single parent, so I have to already kind of sacrifice some of my time with my kids, but I've had it. I've absolutely had it. So for me, I think it's important to come to communities like this where you might not have a child in the district, but you're still going to be voting on the same day as the president, and we're on the same ballot. Please don't vote 1, 2, 3. If you have grandchildren, nieces, nephews, pass the word along, because I can tell you this, there's 3 seats open. We align with these values. We are against the kind of talk I've been sharing. And the 3 opponents are, because there's 3 seats open, there's 3 on break. They are for everything I just mentioned. Everything.
Do you know what?
We've actually been called bigots for being, against these policies because we're anti-gay. That couldn't be further from the truth. It has to do with parental rights, And transparency, the government is not going to parent my child, I am. And the thing is, so Matt Silikowski is the president now of the Board of Ed. He made a big deal for us to even find out about these things. He started sending out emails for parents to please come, please come. That got our attention. If not for Matt, we would have never known. And so, you know, this is going to continue. I think the administration is very rattled by people like us, because now we're going to give them a little extra work to do by challenging some of these decisions. More and more I'm learning about, you know, the boys club and who's been hired unethically. You know, it's enough. It's enough. We're taxpayers, we're the parents, we have every right to be involved. You know, so it's very important to me also to just, besides the obvious thing, the budget, I don't want to pay $10 more, let alone 10% more in taxes, but that goes without saying. I think that's even the other side. But we shouldn't have gotten here. And you know, it's the transparency for me, is that I want every parent involved. I want there to be things going home that are saying, this is what, you know, this is something that could impact you. This is something the state's looking to implement, you know, and we need more support. We need more parent involvement. So that's where I stand personally. I know the guys agree with me, but for me, I just feel like if we don't stand for something now, it's just going to keep snowballing, you know, because, you know, what you allow continues, right? So, yep. Number 5 on the ballot.